Yo, what's good everyone? Back with another GTA breakdown, and today we're talking about something that's been on my mind for a while. You know how in every heist there's always that one person who absolutely carries the team? Well, I've been thinking about the MVPs of each major heist in GTA 5, and honestly some of these picks might surprise you. Starting off with the very first big score, the Vangelico jewelry store heist. Let's be real about what makes someone an MVP in a heist situation. It's not just about who shoots the most people, or who drives the fastest. It's about who actually makes the operation successful from start to finish. And Michael absolutely bodies this criteria for the jewelry store job. Think about it. Michael is literally the mastermind behind this entire operation. He's the one with the connections to Lester. He's got the experience from his previous heist days. And most importantly, he's the one who can actually plan something this complex without it falling apart. Franklin at this point is still learning the ropes, and Trevor hasn't even entered the picture yet, so Michael's carrying the entire strategic weight of this operation. But it goes deeper than just planning. Michael's the one who has to manage all the moving parts during the actual heist. He's coordinating with the crew, making sure everyone knows their role, and adapting when things don't go exactly as planned. That's some serious leadership skills right there, and honestly, without that steady hand guiding everything, this job would have been a complete disaster. His previous experience shows during the actual execution. He knows how to handle himself under pressure, and he's not panicking when the cops show up. Meanwhile, Franklin's still figuring out his place in this world and learning from Michael's example. Don't get me wrong, Franklin's driving skills are absolutely insane, but raw talent doesn't automatically make you the MVP of a complex operation like this. He's thinking about escape routes, he's considering what could go wrong, and he's making sure everyone gets out alive with the money. That's not just heist skills, that's legitimate leadership and project management wrapped up in criminal activity. Plus, let's not forget that Michael's the one who actually has skin in the game here beyond just making money. This heist is part of his larger arc of getting back into the life he thought he'd left behind. The emotional stakes are higher for him, which means he's more invested in making sure everything goes perfectly. When someone's that invested in success, they're going to perform at their highest level. The jewelry store heist basically sets the template for how all the future jobs are going to work, and Michael's approach here influences everything that comes after. Without his steady presence and experience guiding this first major score, the crew never builds the trust and coordination they need for the bigger jobs later in the game. So yeah, while Franklin's driving is clutch and the whole crew contributes to the success, Michael's the clear MVP of the Vangelico job. He brings the experience, the connections, the planning skills, and the leadership that makes everything else possible. Sometimes the MVP isn't the flashiest player, it's the one who makes sure everyone else can do their job effectively. Moving on to the Merryweather heist, and this is where things get absolutely wild. For this job, the MVP is hands down Trevor, and honestly, it's not even close. This heist is basically designed for someone with Trevor's specific skill set and mentality, and watching him operate here is genuinely impressive in the most unhinged way possible. The thing about the Merryweather job is that it's not your typical stealth and finesse operation like the jewelry store. This is straight-up military-grade chaos against a private military company, and Trevor thrives in that environment like nobody else could. While Michael's still thinking like a traditional criminal and Franklin's adapting to bigger operations, Trevor's approaching this like the absolute maniac he is, and that's exactly what this job needs. First off, Trevor's military background becomes crucial here. Dude actually knows how to handle military equipment, he understands tactics, and he's not intimidated by going up against trained mercenaries. Michael and Franklin are skilled, but they're not military trained. Trevor's been in actual combat situations, and it shows during every firefight in this heist. He's not just shooting randomly, he's using legitimate combat knowledge. The man also brings this chaotic adaptability that's perfect for a job this unpredictable. When plans go sideways during the Merryweather heist, Trevor doesn't freeze up or stick to the original strategy. He just goes full psycho mode and improvises his way through whatever obstacle appears. He knows people who can get the kind of heavy equipment and weapons needed for a job this big, and he's not afraid to call in favors or make deals that Michael and Franklin might hesitate on. Sometimes you need someone who's completely comfortable operating in the darkest parts of the criminal world. The Merryweather heist is basically Trevor's natural habitat, and watching him operate at peak performance here shows why he survived as long as he did in the criminal world before reconnecting with Michael. This job plays to every single one of his strengths while minimizing his weaknesses, making him the clear choice for MVP. Alright, so, we hit the Paleto score, and I'm gonna be straight with you. Trevor's taking another win here. Now before you start thinking I'm just glazing Trevor for everything, let me break down why this specific job belongs to him, and it's completely different reasoning than Merryweather. See, the Paleto bank robbery is where Trevor's absolute disregard for consequences becomes a genuine superpower. This isn't a clean in-and-out job. This is a full-scale war with law enforcement in broad daylight. And Trevor's the only one who seems genuinely comfortable with that level of heat. Michael's stressed about the attention. Franklin's concerned about the risk. But Trevor's literally having the time of his life, turning a small town into a battlefield. The heavy armor setup plays perfectly into Trevor's strengths too. While Michael and Franklin are treating the armor like necessary protection, Trevor's using it as an excuse to go full Terminator mode. Dude's not just surviving the police response, he's actively enjoying the carnage, and using that psychotic energy to push through situations that would break most criminals mentally. His local knowledge also comes clutch here since he's been living in Sandy Shores and knows the area way better than Michael or Franklin. Those backroad escape routes and hiding spots aren't things you can just figure out on the fly. You need someone who's actually spent time in the area and knows every dirt path and abandoned building. Trevor's basically the local guide for their getaway strategy. The man also handles the crew management aspect different than usual here. Instead of trying to coordinate complex strategies, he just becomes this unstoppable force that everyone else can follow. Sometimes leadership isn't about detailed planning. It's about being so committed to the mission that everyone else gets swept up in your momentum. This job requires someone who can sustain intense combat for an extended period, without getting rattled or making mistakes. Most people would be shaking from adrenaline after the first few minutes, but Trevor just gets more focused and effective as the firefight continues. That's not normal human behavior, but it's exactly what this job demands. Now we get to the Bureau raid, and this is where Franklin finally gets his moment to shine as the clear MVP. I know some of you might be expecting Michael to take this one since it's all cerebral and tactical, but honestly, Franklin's contribution here is so crucial that the entire operation lives or dies based on his performance. The sniping position Franklin takes during this heist is straight up the most important job anyone has across all these scores. He's not just providing cover, he's literally the lifeline for Michael and the crew inside the building. One missed shot, one moment of hesitation, and everyone inside is dead or captured by federal agents. That kind of pressure would crush most people, but Franklin handles it with ice in his veins. His positioning and tactical awareness during the Bureau job shows how much Franklin's evolved since that first jewelry store heist. He's not just the wheelman anymore. He's become this complete operator who can handle the most critical role in a complex federal building infiltration. That growth arc is genuinely impressive when you think about how green he was at the beginning. The communication aspect is huge too. Franklin's constantly feeding information to Michael about threats, escape routes, and timing while maintaining perfect accuracy with his rifle. That's elite-level multitasking under extreme stress. Franklin also brings this calm energy that keeps everyone grounded during the most intense parts of the operation. While Michael's dealing with federal agents and complex security systems, knowing Franklin's got Overwatch allows him to focus entirely on the mission objectives, instead of worrying about external threats. That psychological support is just as valuable as the actual bullets Franklin's putting downrange. Plus, his natural instincts for reading situations become crucial when the plan starts going sideways. Franklin's not just following orders from his perch, he's making independent tactical decisions about when to engage, when to hold fire, and how to best support the ground team's changing needs. That kind of battlefield intelligence can't be taught. It's pure natural talent combined with experience. The Blitz play is where Michael absolutely demonstrates why he's considered the mastermind of this whole operation. This heist is pure Michael energy from start to finish, combining his old-school professionalism with modern execution in a way that neither Trevor nor Franklin could pull off. The construction site infiltration showcases Michael's ability to blend into environments that Trevor and Franklin would stick out in immediately. His middle-aged suburban dad energy becomes an actual tactical advantage here because he can move through spaces without drawing attention or suspicion. Sometimes the best disguise is just being completely unremarkable, and Michael's perfected that art. Michael doesn't panic or force bad solutions. He adapts the strategy in real time while maintaining the core objectives. That kind of flexible thinking requires both experience and natural intelligence, and Michael's got both in abundance during this job. The way Michael handles the security responses also shows his deep understanding of how law enforcement operates. He's not just reacting to threats, he's anticipating them and positioning the crew to stay ahead of police tactics. That institutional knowledge from his previous criminal career becomes crucial when dealing with coordinated professional responses. Finally, we reach the big score, the ultimate heist that everything's been building toward, and Michael takes his final bow as the undisputed MVP. This job is basically Michael's entire criminal philosophy made manifest, and watching him orchestrate this masterpiece is honestly like watching an artist create their magnum opus. The sheer scope of what Michael pulls together for the big score is insane. We're talking about coordinating multiple crews, managing complex equipment, timing everything perfectly with external factors, and doing it all while the stakes are at their absolute highest. This isn't just a heist anymore. It's like conducting a criminal symphony, and Michael's the only one with the experience and vision to make it work. Michael's ability to see the big picture while managing tiny details becomes crucial here. He's thinking about escape routes that won't be discovered for hours, anticipating law enforcement response patterns, and planning for contingencies that might not even happen. He stays calculated, methodical, and focused on the endgame even when chaos is erupting around him. The technical execution Michael delivers during his part of the big score shows he hasn't lost a step from his prime criminal years. All that suburban retirement didn't make him soft, it just gave him perspective and patience that makes him even more dangerous. He's combining his old skills with new wisdom, and that combination is lethal. Most importantly, Michael's the only one who truly understands what success looks like beyond just grabbing the money. He's thinking about long-term consequences, exit strategies, and how to actually enjoy the fruits of their labor, instead of just surviving the next 5 minutes. And we are done. Let me know in the comments what do you think of my picks, and I'll see you in the next video. Subscribe to the channel.